And I just want to give a huge shout out to Nexus Unicronus. Thank you so much for providing the Skystalker, and he gave me an ice pick along with that. He also has given me a custom version of myself. I actually have it right here. It's pretty sweet. So please, this video would not be possible without him. So go subscribe, go check him out. Link will be in the description. So thank you, Nexus. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video, and today we're checking out these 3 awesome figures. So let's get right into it. So in this review, we're going to be talking about Mindwipe, Terradive, and Skystalker. So starting out with Mindwipe, let's just get this out of the way, that this looks sick. Seriously, the spy plane detail looks awesome on this figure, and they knocked it out of the park with that. This jet mode is huge too, it dwarfs any jet around it. I love all the paint apps and the details, like the red windows and the little purple accents here and there with the tattoos on the wings. Just makes it look even better than it already does. The one issue I actually have with this jet mode is the little beige parts that stick out. It's pretty unsightly, and I will elaborate on this later because this is not a one-time thing. With that being said, the jet mode still feels like you can swoosh it around. It's very swooshable, if that makes sense. He can do something else too. Let's check it out.
Alright, so, get out of here. Okay, so, time to show you how Skystalker goes with Mindwipe. So, you fold up the landing gear like so. You're going to see 2 tabs here and here. And those are going to go into these 2. So, you're just going to want to line those bad boys up. Push it in. Make sure it's nice and secure. And there you go.
So yeah, I really like the integration of Skystalker. It's really cool. Anyways, to sum it up, the jet mode is pretty darn sweet. I give it a 9.8 out of 10. It's not quite perfect because the little beige part's sticking out, but that's literally the only issue I have. The undercarriage is clean. It all just looks really, really nice. Probably one of the best jet modes we've ever gotten, alongside some of these two. And it's great. It's a Voyager, and it does all this. What more could you ask for in terms of a jet outside of the beige parts? Then let's talk about Terradive, which is my favorite one out of these 3. The jet mode is unreal. I love the orange, the white, the black. It just, man, it looks so cool. And I just love how he looks. I can't describe it. He just looks awesome with the wings fold forward, swished forward. There. Anyways, this thing looks sick, is my point. I will say he does have a bit of an undercarriage, but that's because of the way he transforms. More on that later, of course. But I don't find it to be that big of a problem, especially when compared to figures like Needle Nose and Blackwing from, I guess those are more recent deluxe jets that come to mind. But he looks really cool, though. I don't think we can... I keep saying it, but it's true. He looks really cool. I do like the design. It kind of is slanted, so you'll notice that the back is higher than the front. I don't know if that's aerodynamic or not. You guys, the people who know jets and aerodynamics, please let me know down in the comments. But I think it adds really cool detail and just overall flow to the design, and I think it just looks pretty sweet. And finally, we have Skystalker. Now, Skystalker there's not too much to talk about. It's mini skyplanes, cool details with the Decepticon logos on the side, cool intakes, cool, just overall sleek vibes coming off this. Again, the beige isn't really my thing. I don't know why they use this kind of plastic. Again, I'll talk about this a little later, trust me. But it looks pretty cool. I mean, I really like how he looks, and he looks good next to Mindwipe. He's good. He's a good little scout class.
Alright, so it's time to transform Mindwipe. So from jet to robot, it's actually pretty easy. First thing you want to do is go ahead and fold in the landing gear. The next step is you're going to want to untab, go ahead and untab that part from there. And then take the legs, scooch them out like that. And then you're going to want to take these sections here. I guess you're going to want to lift this up if it doesn't do it already. Split the front. Like, come on. split it. There we are. Then go ahead and untab the shoulders. Okay, they don't want to untab. Come on. There we go. Go ahead and untab the shoulders like that. Rotate them down like so. Then you want to take the wing and fold it back, and as you fold it back, you'll see that it will fold on its own. I'm gonna move the camera up. Then do the same thing on the other side, like that. You want to go ahead and rotate the waist, like so. Bring the legs around town. Then move the arms this way. Rotate these sections backwards. Then these backwards as well. Then flip this flap up. Take the head, bring it out, collapse the wings, and then you're going to want to push this all the way in until you can't no mo. Go ahead and take this panel here, and it's going to fold back like so. Head's going to do that, and there you have Mindwipe in robot mode, unless I'm forgetting something. But I think I'm good, and I think he looks great. All right, so to transform Terradive, we got to be pretty careful because I've heard of some breakages. First thing I want to do is remove the weapon. So unclip that, and it should come right out. So go ahead and take the legs and fold them out like that. Then unclip the arms, rotate them around like that. This transformation is actually pretty crazy. Next up, you want to unfold this and go ahead and get that going. What's next? I guess we can go ahead and fold the arms out like so. Then we can completely flip this and then take the head, fold it up, and then take this section here and fold it down like that. Make sure the cockpit is all the way forward. And then go ahead and rotate the legs down like so. Then I suppose what we'll do is go ahead and rotate at this section here. Make sure we've got everything here. Then bring this part up like that. I apologize for sounds in the background. Go ahead and flip those forwards. These tabs here are going to fit into those slots, so go ahead and peg that in. And go ahead and peg that in. Flip the head forwards. Take the hands, and these are going to slide out, rotate, slide in, and these will collapse. And then same thing on the other side. So do that. And then for the legs, bring this out, rotate, bring it back in, flip this forwards, then flip that backwards. And then just do the same thing on the other side. And finally for Skystalker, what we're gonna do is fold out the feet, which are spring-loaded for some reason, but we'll get into that a bit later. Go ahead and pop out the weapons just to do yourself some good. It's pretty cool how these work. You just, push in right there, and then they unclip like that. Go ahead and fold the wings out like that. Rotate the legs down like so. You're gonna want to go ahead and bring this down, flip the head up. Then finally, for the last step, we're just gonna take the wings, or take the arms, and hinge them around. And to finish it all, we're just going to make it look like this. And there you have Skystalker in robot mode. Oh, and I did want to mention that you want to have this click into place like this so that it actually stands up. Because I'm an idiot, I forgot to mention that. Sorry.
And now, taking a look at Mindwipe's robot mode, man, what a robot mode. From the swishback wings to the awesome head sculpt to the overall stature of the figure, Man, he looks cool. But what really brings it down for me is that beige plastic. I don't get why they chose to use that. It kind of reminds me of Allspark Blue, which isn't much better. If you know what that is, then you know. But man, it is a cool robot mode though. He has some flip out daggers, so if you flip the hand back, then you can use that front of the jet to sort of act like some daggers, which is pretty cool. But I will say the articulation is pretty limited on this figure, which isn't very surprising considering its age, so I'm not going to tag it too much for that, but it is something you should know. Even with that being said, I think the robot mode does a really good job, and I feel like we should have seen this guy in the movie because he would have been an awesome villain to see. I mean, he doesn't even have any kibble either, man. Like, he's got the little parts sticking out of the back of his chest, but that's it. Everything else is super clean. I find that the engineering of this figure is pretty great, especially for the time. I mean, the articulation is limited, but everything that you might want could be there. You know, he doesn't have ankle tilt. He doesn't have some points of articulation, but I mean, he stands up pretty good. He looks great. I mean, what more could you want from this figure? I can see why everybody wants this thing. And then we get to Terradive, and now you can see why this is my favorite. Between the awesome head sculpt, the freaking trident slash lance, the colors work together so well. He can get into some pretty sweet poses with the trident. He just looks amazing. Just amazing. I'm telling you, this is one of the best jet formers from the deluxe price point that we've ever got, if not the best. I'd also like to point out that this thing goes from about average proportions, you know, same width and same length, to very lanky. That's really cool how they used the legs and stretched them out to make him look super lanky, and that just makes him look like some kind of guard. I'm not familiar with the game. I think he's from the game because he's hunting from the Decepticons, but I mean, I just dig how this guy looks. And then we get to Sky Shadow. Thank you, Nexus. Yeah, this guy's pretty sweet. Again, the beige plastic. Why did they use so much of it? I have no idea. It's a completely different color. I think Hasbro needs to take a look at the color wheel because those two do not go together. But that aside, this looks fantastic. Really like how they designed him with the big legs and the skinny arms with the cool wings on the back, and the weapons, the little hook weapons, are so cool. And this guy's a really neat little minion for Mindwipe. Again, the articulation is limited, just like the rest of them, but this is an older figure, so again, we still can't hold it against him. And the spring-loaded feet is a bit questionable. Don't understand why they did that, because it does make him a little harder to stand. So, in conclusion, these three are peak. Just like the thumbnail said, just like the title said, these are amazing figures. Despite the issues I have with them, I really love them. They're great. I mean, if you see any of these for a good price, I'd say don't pay over like 70 for Mindwipe and Skystalker combined. You know, I'd say 30 or no, 50 for Mindwipe is, I mean, I think you'll be pretty happy, especially considering its rarity, and you know, 20 because you know you don't want to pay that much for a scout class, but he is also pretty rare. So Terradive, I'd say pay 25, 30, you'd be pretty darn happy. Again, these figures are anywhere from a 9 out of 10 to a 9.5 out of 10 in both modes. I love them. What more can I say? But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
That being said, Stellaris out.